The idea to put together a program like that is I have been carrying around for quite a while. I studied with Vera Roja in London, private, so I parallel to my being an ensemble member of the Staatsoper in Berlin, I frequently traveled to London to take lessons with her. And I was frequently going to the National Portrait Gallery, and I was hooked, how can you say, hooked to it? Because it was so impressive to have in this building all these great, famous portraits of English or personalities of the British Empire. And especially I love to go, there was a stairway where you worked up yourself from the kings from the 13th century up to Henry VIII, and then you went up there, and then you met up with Elizabeth I, and so you went through the British history, and of course I was amazed that some of the famous pictures were so small and so dark, and so, but to have these encounters, and I really felt it was encounters with these personalities, because the pictures, the portraits are so strong. And at that time I started to build up a song repertoire, and I always had in the back of my head, it would be wonderful to put together a program which is like an art gallery, like a portrait gallery, where you have the chance to, to look at a picture, to look at a song, to look at a portrait in one song, but then to have a different version, another, how do you say, perspective of a portrait. And finally, last year we had a chance to do it, and I'm really, really happy that it could work.
Oh Gott, mein Gebieter, ich hoffe auf dich.
Of course, you are dependent on how it is composed, but I think especially in Kennst du das Land, where the Wolf version is like a big, I would say, like a, how do you say, a big epos, like in the, when you see Ben-Hur or Dr. Zhivago or whatever. I mean, it has really dimensions which are so huge. And then you have the more filigrane version of Schubert. For me, it was important to have them really separated. I mean, also in a recital program that I would have the Schubert in the beginning and the Wolf at the end, because to have them next to each other is not easy, is really not easy. But for example, which is even more extreme for me is Nur wer die Sehnsucht kennt. So I have my favorite Schubert song, which is so portrays really this loneliness and the endless line and legato and loneliness. And in the Wolf setting, she is totally confused and out of breath in a way, and like being haunted, you know. And it's the same text, but it's like a different person. Although, of course, it's the same, but that makes it really interesting, I think, because then you have to use totally different colors. To work with Malcolm is a real joy. He's a fantastic musician and a wonderful pianist. And we have done lots of recitals already together, and I always enjoy it so much. And I do remember in the recording that when he played the foreplay for Morgen, it was the first take, and I literally couldn't start singing because I really had to cry, because it was so moving, it was so personal what he brought to it. And that's what he always does. It's always, you know, you can play with him in the performance, and he's always there and picking up every little detail, and then, yeah, supporting and just playing wonderfully. It's wonderful. I think it is for me at this stage like a passport, you know, because it adds up all the things I have been living with the last professional years, and in a way it's in a way it's really fulfilling to have that on a CD, because yeah, everything comes together. I've done so much opera, so impersonating characters on stage. I have that experience, and the song experience, and that combination then I enjoyed very much, and yeah, I'm just happy that we have it on CD now. Again, the idea of the staircase, that you have the chance to look closer to a character. I started really with the idea to have the two interpretations of Mignon, but it was clear to me that it had to be in a way separated, because it would be too much to have them next to each other. And the Gretchen songs I learned really to love to perform as a group, or as a nearly completed program, because I had the experience. We did a recital together with Ian Bostridge and Tommy Quasthoff, and we did the Mignon, so I did the Mignon Lieder, and he did the Gesänge des Hafners. So to have the complete version of poems, and also the Gretchen, and there we also performed the situation where she is in the dome and with the as a böser Geist, and so this we didn't put on the disc. That would have been nice to do, but and there in these recitals I experienced how fulfilling it is to have a complete picture, or to and that was the Gretchen as a big persona from literature, which so many composers have been fascinated with. So to have and to know that Schubert was 17 when he was writing Gretchen am Spinnrad, and that's still the centerpiece. You know, it's so overwhelming. And actually, the Maria Stuart songs, they are so close to my heart, because I also, I don't know, when I was a student or late 19 or 20, I was reading the biography by Stefan Zweig about Maria Stuart, and I was so fascinated. And so when I learned that there are these songs, I for a long time I wanted to sing them, and they have been in my repertoire, I think, since 6 or 7 years. And also to know that, for example, at least one of the poems she was writing herself. I mean, now it is in, she was writing it in Latin originally, and now we have it in German, but it is very a strong connection you feel if you know that this person has really written it in a horrible situation and now it is there as an art song. Yeah. It's a very strange experience, but very strong experience as a performer, I think. I think the Schubert definitely demands a special simplicity. So where you can go in the Wolf, you can take a different brush. For Schubert, especially in the Mignon, I think it has to be very, yeah, humble. I don't know what the word is for it, but she's such a fragile but strong character and a little bit childlike, but with these grown-up feelings. And I think in the settings of Wolf, it demands a different voice, and therefore she, especially in the first song, I think you get more the impression that she has gone through so many things that she has already an old soul.